Let's see. So a moderator and okay.
Yeah, we should be. Okay, let me see. I think we should be live. Yeah.
Let's see.
Hold on.
So a
Let's see.
moderator and
Hold on.
okay.
Yeah, we should be. Okay, yeah, I hear my voice. Okay, we're good there. All right, bam. Yeah, we're good.
Let's see.
We
So a
are
moderator
live
and
officially.
okay.
Make sure everything is adjusted right here accordingly. Okay, with that said in mind. Yeah, I hear my voice. Okay, we're good there. Hey, everybody. SONGOSHUAKU'S here. And welcome to this review for WWE Extreme, not very much, Rules 2018. Last minute, I have a guest joining me. He's been with me in all these reviews so far this year, the man 0001.
Hello, friends. How do you do?
Well, hopefully, you guys are doing okay after watching that show. Yeesh, oh man. Extreme Rules. You know, our friend who couldn't join us, Matt Dillingham, he put it best. He was saying kind of extreme. What was so extreme about that show? Oh man, I don't think this will be that long of a review tonight, honestly. But without further ado, let's just kick things off with the pre-show, which I actually did not watch much, so I'll probably leave the man 0001. And guys, this is gonna be an audio podcast style review, so while you're listening to this live, or if you're on demand, feel free to, you know, do your everyday life, whether you be in the gym or driving, commuting to work or school, whatever, and all that stuff. And since we are live, we do have the chat up here, so feel free to leave comments if you got some questions you guys want to ask us related to WWE or tonight's events, and we'll definitely get back to you and answer it. The man 0001 is in the chat as well as a moderator, so I'm thinking he should be able to see your comments as well. With that said in mind, hopefully everything is good, and we're gonna get started here. Let's start off with some cool news. In case you guys didn't know, reports have it Daniel Bryan and Hulk Hogan have both re-signed with the WWE. But we'll see more of that in the coming weeks and stuff, or maybe even tomorrow night. But let's get started and mainly keep this focus on the show. So I didn't know this was advertised, or maybe I just hadn't been paying much attention, which I'd be honest, during SmackDown, I'm mostly in Raw. I mostly listen to them during my workouts after work, so they're kind of just become background noise to me. That said, there was Cien Almas and Sin Cara having a rematch from SmackDown, and the result was the same. Cien Almas wins and retains and keeps winning momentum. Not much to say about this match. What about you, man? Triples, or anything you want to add about this? Did you watch this match?
Oh, I didn't know Alberto Del Rio was facing Rey Mysterio again.
Wow. Anything you want to add about this? Did you watch this? I dropped my phone there. We're live.
Oh, I didn't know Alberto Del Rio was facing Rey Mysterio. We're live, buddy. You gotta get it all together.
Right, yeah, I dropped my phone. But anyways,
gotta think.
Yeah, of course. Who will ever forget that that part? But yeah, I got my phone here looking through the notes and everything, so I don't lose track in my mind what we're looking for. But yeah, why you gotta do Andrade Cien Almas like that? Dude was awesome in NXT, and so far they haven't dropped the ball on him.
I'm not doing him like that. Alberto Del Rio is an immensely talented guy.
True.
It's not, you know, this is not a knock on him or anything else. This has more so to do with the lack of originality and the storytelling that they have in the WWE right now. That's where that comes from. So it's not anything against, the new Sin Cara or, you know what I mean, or anything to do with Andrade Cien Almas. So.
Gotcha.
Right.
True.
I guess
I thought the way you said it was almost as if it was a joke, but yeah, they're all awesome talents. But I guess based on from what we gathered, you didn't think too much of this match. Well, hey, let's
Nope, they can give two. They can give two shits.
all right, hey, let's move on to which from the parts that I did see looked like it was pretty entertaining. This didn't make the main card. Whatever, 4 hours and still couldn't find time for it. All right. That was Sanity versus the New Day. Now, if you guys remember hearing my NXT and Money in the Bank review from the both Chicago shows, which I went to live, the reviews are right there up on my YouTube channel. I thought it was ridiculous that they brought Sanity to the main roster and then decided not even to use them because creative, which we've been hearing a lot lately of, had nothing for you. And I think Sanity, like, they lost their first match, or was it they lost their second match? But the point is, I don't think they should have been losing at all. That being said, this match looked like it was pretty fun. He had a really cool spot where, an innovative spot, where Kofi was jumping on two of the Sanity's members, basically jumped right up on their chest or shoulders when they were being held up by the other two members of the New Day. It was a pretty cool spot, and I like the ending. Ending was really cool with Eric Young basically driving an elbow through Kofi Kingston that was trying to hang on to one of the other Sanity members, and went through the table, and pretty fun match. I thought it what should have been, and honestly, after seeing some of the matches, quite frankly, on this show, I think you, themann0001, would agree with me that they should have definitely put this match on the main card. But hey,
this right here definitely should have been on the main card. But
right,
we know things like bullshit needs to be on the main card, of course. Bullshit we'll get to later.
Right, yeah, so, but anyway, hats off to all 6 guys. It was a fun tag team match. Right team, in my mind, went over. Sanity definitely needs to keep the momentum going strong, especially with the tag team division. With that said in mind, let's get to, as I called it, not so extreme rules. Usually, and I think what?
Let's see, Extreme Rules. Nah, this isn't Extreme Rules. This right here is rules.
Rules. Well, did any part of this show really rule? Well, there was a couple, and that's exactly at the end of the day when I get to this, I felt like there was really only probably 2 or 3 parts that stood out about this whole pay-per-view. Moving into the pay-per-view, usually traditionally Extreme Rules, it seems like it's just getting watered down every year. And I mean, the purpose of Extreme Rules was because every match was supposed to have a stipulation, and barely any matches had a stipulation, and the ones that did barely were that extreme. I digress. Moving on to the show. So, let's see here. The show kicked off with Matt Hardy, Bray Wyatt, the Woken Warriors versus Curtis Axel, Bo Dallas, the B Team.
The B Team.
So the build up to this, the B Team have been on a winning streak. They've been winning matches.
Yes.
I'm gonna call this what I like to say is bittersweet. Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel are two very intelligent. I'm losing my words here. I'm pretty sure they are very intelligent, but too talented is the word I'm thinking of. They are very talented individuals, and a lot of us have been wanting to see them, get their right moments. Then you have Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, who both have really come along, they've let Matt Hardy finally do his woken gimmick or broken gimmick, and Bray Wyatt's finally gone to become a baby face. And it's kind of like, let's let them have their momentum. But instead, they had the B Team pretty much go over Matt Hardy through this entire feud. And you're thinking, usually typical WWE booking is whoever gets the most momentum, or at least the last momentum, hey, what's up? X-Beat Ninja, who we know as Reggie, has joined the chat. I just see him. What up? Thank you for joining us. We can get you caught up in on Extreme Rules here. If for those who don't know, X-Beat Ninja is one of me and the man 0001's close friends from high school, or as he would call it, jail. Prison. That's what he called our high school back then.
There ain't no Usos there.
No Usos at all. But that's a whole nother story for a different time. Staying focused on the pay-per-view.
Of course.
This whole feud, I guess, you know, it was almost like it was a joke. We've got another one of our high school buddies, SMP, just joined, so that's really cool. The thing about this is, like, you know, I call it bittersweet because I'm happy for Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel, but I just don't think the Woken Warriors should have been losing this. And this entire feud, they were completely booked. Like wow. They were. This is where a lot of fans would get angry and said they jobbed out the Woken Warriors. They were booked completely to be the B team was booked completely superior over the Woken Warriors, and this is what got a lot of people angry about this pay-per-view. Got them off to a sour start. I don't know where they go from here. I guess, you know, they'll get the rematch the next night on Raw. Yeah, I'm torn because I'm happy for, like I said, I'm happy for Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel, but at the same time, not at the expense of one Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. Yeah, that's why. I'm torn. I really am torn on this. But I think, you know, at the end of the day, this shouldn't have been at this shouldn't have been at the expense of it. And SMP just asked they lost. And yes, if you didn't see the beginning, SMP, yes indeed, they lost decisively, clean as can be.
As clean as they lost as clean as a dollar store whistle. Fresh out the pack.
I'll end it on this note. The B team was proved to be far superior. At this point, as the man 0001 would say, now when Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy, they've lost to the B team so many times, and they've lost their titles, when they look down on their wrists, they're going to see property of the B team.
The B team.
Yeah, man, I'm torn.
It's on the bottom of their feet, though.
Oh, okay, on the feet.
Every time when they wake up in the morning and they put their socks and shoes on, they're gonna see property of the B team on one foot, and a picture of Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel on the other foot, just in case they get confused as to who the B team is.
The crowd reaction was very interesting too. They kept saying. Half of them said B team sucks. The other half said let's go B team. But they all unanimously booed when they offer Roman to join them. I cracked up. I was cracking up on that part. Yeah, I agree. SMP. AOP should hopefully win the straps. Something's not right now. If they have the AOP lose to the B team, oh my gosh,
I'm gonna be so happy.
What the heck? All right, hey, I'm done saying my part. Man, 0001, you've been laughing through this whole thing. What? Go ahead. What's your thoughts on the B team?
Woo! I'm in the money. I'm in the money. I'm in the money. So happy for the B team. The B team isn't the B team because they're, you know, B comes after A. The B team is the B team because they represent them bucks. Oh yeah, just made me some bucks tonight off that shit. But yes, yes. Whew.
Rated B for better luck next time, SMP. I mean, they won the title. If anything, that need to give that advice to, based on the storyline, the Woken Warriors. Maybe better. I don't know. Better luck. Maybe the 5th, 6th time they've been losing all this week. One of those rare cases where WWE books someone strong. Yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, in all seriousness, no. But yeah, I'm really happy for the B team. I'm happy for them winning. You know what I mean? You know, Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy have nothing to lose here. And they have my utmost respect for doing this right here because here's what it is. You have the older team putting over the younger team right now, and you have you have these guys going out there and they're finally getting their shine. Kurt Axel is finally getting his shine after so long. Last time I ever saw him get any kind of shine was back in 2013 when he
I'll
won the
cut you off for a second, though.
Championship.
I think they're mostly around the same age, pretty much. I think pretty much same age, but I think more so.
I'm talking about in terms of in-ring years.
Gotcha. Go ahead.
Let's see. When it comes down to it, I'm really happy for Curtis Axel. He's finally getting the shine after so many years, and also, Bo Dallas. He's finally getting some shine. First shine he's gotten since 2014. So these guys, they've been around the block. They've been jobbed out. They've been, just, put through a ringer. And now for them to finally get this, it's amazing, Shows that hard work does pay off, perseverance does pay off, and being in the right place at the right time also pays off. And, I got to give it, so I got to give it, so I got to give them, got to give them their respect and their due. And Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy, they've done a really good job in their storylines, both as rivals and as partners. If this is the end of that union, I have to tip my hat to them. They've done a really amazing job as well. So all parties involved, I'm happy for each and every one of them. Truly, I am.
Well said. SMP love the said B for Bucks and they're young. But yeah, yeah, well said. That's why I said bittersweet. It'd be a whole different story if we were talking about people who generally didn't have really good talent there in the ring. But these are guys who really been working their butts off. So let's move on to the next match, which was Baron Corbin versus Finn Balor. Baron Corbin's put on a new look. He shaved his head. He's got the Constable Corbin. I feel like he's getting some momentum now.
No. Baron Corbin has a new name now.
What?
He's not the Constable Corbin. He's the Constipate Corbin.
Constipate. I heard, I would listen to Solid Monster Sounds Off. Shout out to Solid Monster Sounds Off earlier, and he made that mistake, actually. Almost called him Constipated Corbin, and he had to go back. And let me see here. But the thing is, this match was a pretty standard match, and in the end, basically, Baron Corbin ends up getting, a crucifix, I think, by Finn Balor, and he wins, and it makes Baron Corbin look pretty strong. Finn Balor gets the win, who I thought desperately needs the win. It's a shame that in the storyline they've portrayed him the way he has been. It would be nice if he channeled his inner Stone Cold and was angry and demanded his rematch for the title, but that ain't the way WWE booking is. But hopefully, as we get later on into this review, we've got ourselves a good main event coming for SummerSlam, one I've been waiting for over a decade. So, anyways, we'll get to that later. But that being said, and everything, SMP said Hair Club Corbin. Wow.
Yeah, he's the.
I think Corbin. I think Corbin's new shaved head looks great and everything. The new look, I think it all works for him. No. So overall, standard match. I think it did what it needed to be done. So SMP said Corbin. I meant to say. Right guy went over. I ain't got much more to say about it. What about you, man? 0001.
Yeah, I'm definitely happy for Finn Balor winning this. You know what I mean. Totally. This right here. This right here was totally what needed to happen.
SMP is coming with the hair jokes tonight. He said Balor Club versus Hair Club.
But for Baron Corbin, he looked strong in this match. Finn Balor, him getting this win right here, definitely something he needed. Definitely some momentum. Some much needed momentum. Hopefully he gets his title match. I mean, after the whole Brock Lesnar debacle is over, after Roman Reigns, by the way, after all of this is over, please give this man his title shot. Please give this man his title shot.
Yeah, I totally agree.
What does he need to do to get this? I mean, come on now. After Daniel Cormier beats the dog shit out of Brock Lesnar and leaves his ass hanging, I mean, does he need to come in and do do the rest afterwards.
And Daniel
Anything. Come
Cormier
on
said
now.
he said Brock can push him now, but he's gonna put him to sleep later. Oh man, that was really
Yeah.
great to watch that UFC event. Outside of one
Uh,
fight, man, I know we had a great time watching that last week.
oh yes, most definitely. Let's get back down to business
Oh
though.
yeah. But yeah, well said, man. Triple 01. Let's move on to the match that surely ticked the entire WWE universe off. Carmella versus Asuka for the SmackDown Women's Championship, with James Ellsworth suspended above the cage in a shark cage, very similar to what they did last year with Enzo. This match
And
here,
Chris Jericho.
yeah, yeah, and Jericho as well. This match here, it was pretty. It's like they wasted no time. They just went ahead and got right to the point of where you have James Ellsworth is throwing stuff down to try and assist Carmella. He eventually gets out, distracts Asuka, and then Carmella takes advantage, gets the win, the pinfall, and she's done. I don't even think this match lasted as long as the one in Extreme Rules. And Asuka is...
You mean Money in the Bank?
Was it? Yeah, Money in the Bank, I meant. I was there live for it. I should remember that. Yeah, Money in the Bank.
Come on now.
Money in the Bank. Yeah, my editing can't save me this time. But anyways, SMP says Ellsworth Mania. Yeah, Ellsworth took a beating by Asuka at the end of this match, which is really weird when you think about how there was a time and point where AJ Styles almost lost the WWE Championship to Ellsworth. You think Ellsworth would put up a much better fight, at least. Asuka's a tough woman and everything. But that being said, this match, I don't think did anything favors it. I don't know where you go here now with Asuka. Carmella's still champion. I was really hoping Asuka would win it here, but man, I feel like Asuka's really headed down that path. I feel like at this rate, we're gonna be looking back on Asuka's career right now the same way we're looking back on Bailey and Sasha currently. Like, what the heck are they doing?
Damn! Woo, where were they at tonight?
Oh my gosh! And believe me, I want to see Asuka be this. I wish she was this dominant warrior built up to take on Ronda Rousey. So it's yeah. I mean, yeah. Honestly, most reasons people who don't like this, damn. You know, SMP says in the chat, he was putting Asuka over. Yeah, but they weren't gonna let Carmella go over her. Yeah, it's just sad to see what they've done with Asuka. You know, it's just sad. What else can I say? It's sad to see what they've done with Asuka. What's your takeaway from this match, man? 0001.
That's pitiful. Just sad. Just sad. It's just sad what happened in that match, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? Come on now. Just put the title on Asuka. You know what I'm saying? Just put the belt on her. Come on now. Come on. I will personally buy her one just so she can have it on her. Come on now.
Hopefully this is all leading to, I'm assuming maybe Becky Lynch is going to have a huge comeback story and be the one to dethrone Carmella, which is really cool. Like, here's the thing, like, that's all nice and all, but maybe if they would have perhaps built up Asuka, and then maybe Becky Lynch is the one that comes out of nowhere and beats Asuka for the streak, you know, just, yeah. And look at this, look at what they've reduced. Asuka and Carmel. I mean, Asuka and Charlotte. Asuka and Charlotte were the headline SmackDown featured women's match at WrestleMania, and look at what both are doing now. You know, I know that Charlotte is away recovering right now from getting her ruptured breast implant fixed and all that stuff. But even before she left, they weren't really doing much with her, nor Asuka. So it's really sad. The man 0001 is taking an intermission right now. He told me he'll be back, so I'm just gonna move right to the other match since he gave his thoughts. And that's well, I guess I really shouldn't say match. I'm looking at my notes. What match? And that's Jeff Hardy. I'm all over the place tonight. Jeff Hardy defending the United States Championship against Nakamura. And speaking of Matt Hardy, not a good day at all for the Hardys. So the idea here is that when the referee turned his back, Nakamura channeled his inner as what is it Solid Monster says on his podcast, was it Nutcracker Mora? He ended up doing the whole nut shot. Yeah, he did the whole nut shot with the low blow to Jeff Hardy, which I actually admit was pretty funny. When the referee just casually turned around and boom, and then right when the match goes on, he does the Kinshasa and boom, 1, 2, 3. Nakamura is the United States champion. This was like this is like a cat. What was it? A cash in. This is like a cash in, almost basically. It's essentially the same method they used to do the cash ins. Now I didn't have a big problem. I didn't have too much of a problem with this match, just because, or what match, right? I didn't have with this segment.
What match?
Yeah, with this segment, because I had heard the reports going in that SMP just popped me. He said, "That's my purse." I know, I'm pretty sure X-Beat Ninja appreciated that one. Oh, man, we all got some King to Hill fans here, and everything. Oh, man. But, hey, yeah, the thing is, I heard reports going in, Jeff Hardy is really banged up right now, so he might need some time off to heal some nagging injuries. So I was okay with the way they booked it. Yeah, I was fine with the way they booked this. But then they announced immediately you're going to get a rematch. They're going to do a rematch on SmackDown. And it's like, if they go ahead and have a full-length 15, 20-minute match, then what was the point? But that's
this right here is to give is to make sure that they close up all of the, so they can close up all of the holes and stuff, so they can close up all the holes and everything. So when Jeff Hardy goes off and
comes
he gets
back,
his
he
time
can start
off
anew,
for his
right?
injury. Yeah, he can start on a new program with someone else.
Well, hopefully they do another quick, short segment, because if it turns into a full-blown match, and I would have been like, well, you should have just done that here on the pay-per-view. Give us the match on the pay-per-view or a special event on the network, and then do this type of segment on SmackDown to finish things off. But, yeah, whatever. But I guess it wouldn't have made as much sense doing that because he wanted to win the title. Anyways, I'm glad Nakamura at least has a championship, because they're going to give him the U.S. title, and hopefully maybe his U.S. championship reign impresses WWE officials enough to hopefully one day put him back in that main event spot and hopefully give him a chance for the WWE title. But at least we know Nakamura is not buried and gone forever, so there's still hope that lies there ahead. That being said, what's your thoughts on the execution of this segment?
The shorter the better. That's what I like. In, out, done.
Hey, X-Beat Ninja, you said something erupt during the match. What were you trying to ask, or were you talking about Jeff Hardy and his Jeff Hardy down there, his little Hardys down there? Probably got erupted from Nakamura. Oh man. Oh yeah. Let's move on to the next match. Now this is Team Hell No versus the Bludgeon Brother. Oh, no, we're not there yet. It was Strowman Owens. Okay, before we get to that, also, I forgot to mention, we had a segment where Kurt Angle, character-wise, finally grew a pair and finally said, hey, Brock Lesnar either shows up tomorrow night and accepts his match, and accepts to having a new match to defend his title, and boom, out of nowhere, or else he gets stripped of the title, and the fans erupted into a yes chant, and it's like, you know, they do this stuff. Like, why didn't you just do that from the start? You know, I really dislike how they've been using Kurt Angle's character. What happened to and this one was painful for me. Back in 2001, Stone Cold Steve Austin. What happened to the Kurt Angle that was so cool and wasn't afraid of anyone, was so bad, he made Stone Cold Steve Austin cry? What happened to that Kurt Angle? Oh man, and you would think, I thought that was the whole point of the storyline, was that Kurt Angle and
shit, fuck that. What happened to the Kurt Angle that fucking trashed the Undertaker's bike?
There we go. Yes, exactly. Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey, when they team up, I thought that was him standing up to Stephanie McMahon, and when Stephanie went to go ahead and slap him, he grabbed her or kick him. She grabbed her by the ankle, put her in the ankle lock, and made her tap out. So to get the point across that, hey, you know, I'm the general manager and I can put you in a match, because that was the storyline for whatever reason. I know it's all messed up of it, and Stephanie can't refuse Kurt Angle putting in her match, but I thought that was the whole idea. Kurt Angle's like, yeah, I'll put you in a match with Ronda, you know, whatever. It's like they conveniently wait for Kurt Angle to show this side as a general manager 1 month before SummerSlam. What about the other past several months? Oh my. But with that said in mind, let me get to the chat here. Yeah, XB Ninja was talking about her implant. Yeah, it must have happened somewhere during a match. Apparently she had a ruptured breast implant, and Charlotte worked last several months. I think she almost worked half a year. It happened sometime in 2017. She's just now getting it fixed because she didn't want to miss out on WrestleMania or Money in the Bank. So Charlotte's a tough girl for sure. And that's exactly what happened there. And then getting back to the event, so that's where we're going later. I'll have more to say about this situation, like I said, when we get to a certain match later. But yeah, let's get to this steel cage match. Braun Strowman and Kevin Owens. Oh my gosh, what have they done to Kevin Owens? You see, I like the Kevin Owens that was sadistic and would walk right out in front of John Cena's face while he's the NXT champion, call him out, and then challenge him to a match at a pay-per-view and straight up beat him 100% clean. Or just last year when Kevin Owens was that sadistic Owens that turned on Jericho at the Festival of Friendship, or Kevin Owens that was sadistic and ended up headbutting Vince McMahon.
No. He was the face of America. You have to understand that.
Still, Kevin Owens, that type of Kevin Owens, that's the Kevin Owens that I really like and thought you could have put against Braun Strowman. Like, yes, you could still book Strowman strong over him, but Kevin Owens kind of be like, he ain't afraid of Strowman, doesn't care about size. They had Kevin Owens running away in matches, the porter potty, oh man, and yes, SMP, the poor announce table, we'll get to that. They booked him a little stronger in this match. There wasn't really much, I thought, to this match in the cage match. Let's talk about the ending, because I think that's the thing that people are going to remember. So Kevin Owens...
Kevin Owens, he needs to subscribe to Shinsuke Nakamura's self-defense class.
Or Brock Lesnar's. Yeah, Kevin Owens. So he ties. He uses the handcuffs to handcuff Braun Strowman to the cage. SMP said he didn't eat the pancakes. He needed some of that power of positivity. But yeah, Kevin Owens is beating down Strowman. Though I thought he should have just made a beeline. Should have just made a beeline for the top of the cage, which he eventually does, and Strowman gets away. And Strowman, man, the athleticism, the quick agility of Strowman, how quick he got up there with those cage, man, and freaking incredible. But he's right there, and you're like, okay, is he gonna slam him into the ring? I'm thinking he's gonna go in the ring, because if he throws Owens out, then Owens wins the match. But Kevin Owens, who's been really building a reputation here in WWE for taking these big, huge bumps, he gets legitimately thrown off the top of the steel cage, through the announce table. This bump was sick. Kevin Owens, ton of respect for taking this bump. It popped the crowd. It was in Pittsburgh, which 20 years ago we just recently passed the anniversary of The Undertaker throwing Mankind off the Hell in a Cell. Unbelievable moment. 20 years later, still will never forget that moment. And this is a crazy bump, and Kevin Owens wins the match, but really didn't walk away the winner. Braun Strowman looks strong. Kevin Owens gets the win, I guess. But this spot is going to be remembered.
He won.
Yeah, I know. I'm meaning like technically though. But the thing about this is that it's a big bump, and it was the most extreme thing we had on this show, and that's exactly what this match will be remembered for. So just one more thing to add to Braun Strowman, and you wonder why people gravitate to Braun Strowman as being potentially the top face of this company, because I mean, look at this. He's doing stuff like this, and what do they have Roman Reigns do? Exactly, you see. But yeah, like I said, I wasn't a fan of the build-up. I wasn't really a fan of the match. I mean, this big spot, that's the best thing about this whole feud. Yeah, and hopefully they get Kevin Owens back to being more serious and not this coward that runs away. Like, you couldn't even picture them doing something like this with Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe was the one that would type of like, he might walk off, but he'll come back and get his heat some way. Yeah. That being said, what was your thoughts on the build up in this match?
Oh man, my thoughts were every time this match right here just showed Kevin Owens. Every time he was out there with Braun Strowman, running away, lots of running away, lots of are you see, I love you, I hate you, I just can't live without you. That's what it is.
Saliva.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on now, are they friends? Are they enemies? He threw him off of there. I mean, that's right. Come on, what happened to be a star? They have him out there getting bullied like that. I'm just speaking about this from a kayfabe standpoint. I mean, come on now. You gotta give us some doubt. Have Kevin Owens hit Braun Strowman in the kneecaps with a wrench, as he's leaving his hotel room or something. Have him
Right.
sneak attack him with a net,
Something.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Call the National Guard, call a SWAT team on him and have him arrested, for
Right. Right.
property damage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you want to make him be a smarmy heel, a smarmy chicken shit heel, if you want to have him do these, if you want to have him do these tactics and everything, you want to have him do these things, do it right. At least do it right. Have him be a master manipulator. But then when Braun Strowman finally gets his hands on the guy, when he gets these hands on the guy, I mean, it makes everything so much more. It makes everything so much more, meaningful. It makes everything so much more better. I didn't say not more better, but just makes everything better, and it makes everything so much,
Like Kevin Owens maintains his dignity, basically.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it makes it seem like he maintained his dignity, and also makes him look like like he actually could, potentially have won this match. I mean, he did win this match, but makes it look like he could win this match, You know what I mean? It also puts a little bit of doubt in the fans' mind behind if is Braun Strowman going to be able to overcome this and be able to put him out there. You know what I mean? But come on now.
Right. Right.
You made him look. You might as well have him. You might as well just have him wear a full bodysuit and a mask and just call his ass default and just say default win the match.
Right. Hey, SMP is making some great
Create a
points.
wrestler won the match.
Right.
That's who won the match.
Yeah, SMP's been
Come on
making
now.
some great points here in the chat. He's talking about how they gave Zayn more heat against Bobby Lashley. And he's exactly right. Like Bobby Lashley, he kept using his psychology and mind to try to get the best of Bobby Lashley. And granted, I wasn't a big fan of that feud, but like when Bobby did the obstacle course, and then Zayn's like, forget it, I'm not doing it. He just knocked him out basically after he did that. Stuff like that. And yeah, I agree. SMP Kurt Angle was awesome back then, man. That's the Kurt Angle we missed. Same thing with Mick Foley, man. No wonder why, I could never imagine Stone Cold Steve Austin coming back as general manager, and they're gonna, hey, Stephanie McMahon's gonna constantly basically put you down all the time, and you're just gonna sit there like, no, that's not the Steve Austin character. But yeah, I think we said everything needed to be said about this. At least did you enjoy the spot though? I'm pretty sure you at least enjoyed that, right?
Yeah, I enjoyed the spot, but it's like at the same time, it's like, come on now.
Right. I gotcha.
Really?
Yeah. Hey, let's move on to Team Hell No versus the Bludgeon Brothers. All right, so obviously this was one of the big key selling points, I guess, for this pay-per-view. They're freaking, as you guys can see the screen, they were on the advertisement poster. That's the official poster for the show, and this was a big deal being made. Team Hell No, the Bludgeon Brothers. I really didn't care for Team Hell No coming back. The comedy this time around didn't feel as organic, with the NSYNC references and all that stuff. I feel like it wasn't really needed, but okay, we're gonna do it, and fine, and this is what they gave us. I'm gonna for those of you out there who probably haven't played the Dragon Ball game Xenoverse 2, a little spoiler here. In the game, a lot of the promotion leading up to that game was that movies 3 and 4 villains Turles and Lord Slug were going to be big integral parts. They were going to be like really big, huge, powered up henchmen. And when you play the game story mode, they actually are killed off rather quickly. And it's hilarious because, like, what the heck? They even put these in the opening. They made CGI cutscenes of them, and they're gone just like that. That's what I feel about this match. First of all, they do this thing where Daniel Bryan and Kane are beaten up backstage. Now, let me get this right. Kane, the man who's been blown up, thrown in dumpster trucks, has survived some of the most unbelievable death spots in the business. Storyline wise, he couldn't get past a door, his foot being between a door where they take a mallet and slam the door on his foot, and he's coming out on a cast. You mean to tell me if we look back through the past 20 plus years history of Kane's character, everybody's tried to kill him by setting him on fire, running him over? All they had to do was put his foot in between a door and slam it with a mallet. That was it.
That's all it takes, man.
That's all it took. They were being too complicated. Okay, so we get to the match here, and Daniel Bryan does a 2-on-1 match. I don't know if you guys saw on Twitter, I put, hey, if Daniel Bryan wins this match by himself, he really will have the right to say, I am the tag team champions. And of course, Kane comes hobbling out on one foot, and there's not much, Daniel Bryan makes the hot tag for Kane. It was nice to hear the fans say, we want Kane, which was something we didn't get during the time he teamed with The Undertaker for his, 25th anniversary. But that being said, Kane gets in, doesn't do much. He tries to go for a tombstone. Daniel gets tagged back in, and they throw Kane out, and the Bludgeon Brothers hit their finishing move on Daniel Bryan and pin him 1, 2, 3, and that's it. Hey. Okay, here's the thing. Do I think Team Hell No should have won the tag team titles? Honestly, I don't think it was needed. I know Kane's got his election coming up, and maybe this match is booked this way because they didn't want Kane doing too much in-ring action. They don't want him getting injured because I know the finals is coming up for him in running mayor and everything. But with that being said, like, I felt this should have been like The Rock and Brock Lesnar. Like, you know how in 2002 summer, they brought The Rock in to win the championship. He did a 1-month program with Brock Lesnar, and he put Brock Lesnar over on the way out, and then The Rock
like
was
$1
gone.
million bucks.
Right, it was gone. So The Rock came back basically to put over Brock Lesnar, and I thought, why not use it? Just, if you're going to have the Bludgeon Brothers go over like this, then just let them go over like that. Have them face Team Hell No straight up, one-on-one, have it be a clean finish with no shenanigans before the show, have them win, and let Team Hell No go ahead and give the Bludgeon Brothers the rub and call it the day. And they even had Daniel Bryan take the pin in this. And we, like I said, I know Daniel, it's been reported Daniel signed a new contract. They didn't even have Kane take the fall, maybe because they didn't want the mayor, the soon-to-be mayor, possibly taking the fall. Just the booking of this match, I felt like it was just not necessary. Just like at WrestleMania, it was not necessary to do the whole stick with Daniel Bryan possibly having to leave the match and just build up to the hot tag and get there. My thing is, if the Bludgeon Brothers are going to go over, just have the Bludgeon Brothers go over clean and get the rub and send Daniel Bryan to his next program, and Kane can go off and, hey, they got a big victory over Legend Kane. But they had to book these shenanigans to protect them both, and yeah, that's what I got to say about the match. What did you feel about it? And were you happy to see Team Hell No come back for this short time?
For me, I just don't know what to make of them coming back. Honestly, I think it's just a ploy to, it's just a ploy to try to get Bryan over to the next program while trying to get Kane some political points in his home state, while getting the Bludgeon Brothers, a little bit of a rub. Quite honestly, it's just like
yo, SMP said in the chat it was a demon-proof door.
Hey, wasn't that a cooler door? Isn't that where he left Paul Bearer at the last time?
Oh, served him right then, huh?
Karma, bitch.
Though Karma is really funny when it comes to Kane, Undertaker, and Paul Bearer and that whole family situation. I don't even want to get started. Karma makes up. Karma has a very bipolar relationship with that family.
No, it just comes right back and gets him all the time.
But I don't think Daniel's getting any time off SMP, especially if he just signed his contract. He just signed a new contract. I'm pretty sure Daniel wants to take as much time. I know he does want a lighter schedule, so he must have got those the stuff that he was negotiating with WWE. He must have got. But finish up with your thoughts on this match. And
yeah, that's the impasse. It's one of those things where, we're all here to we're all here to, collect on what we got to collect on. Daniel Bryan extended, gets an extended, gets to push, gets to kick the can down the road to when he finally eventually gets to face The Miz.
Right.
That's what it all leads to, The Miz. And,
Yeah, I thought Miz was going to interfere in this match so Kane can go off, do the mayor.
Am I the only one here who didn't think he was going to interfere? I kind of thought this. I knew he wasn't going to interfere.
I thought he would, so he could set up the program with him. Because I didn't think
they
would want
somewhere else.
They would beat Daniel Bryan clean, but whatever.
Nope. Let's see. I'm probably the only person. Probably me and another person who probably believes in unicorns and aliens. So I kind of come here, but me and one other person on the planet probably saw this come. Probably saw he was not going to come out there, but I digress from that point. But everybody gets a little bit of a benefit out of it. Daniel Bryan gets extended time until he faces The Miz. Kane gets political points, and the Bludgeon Brothers get the rub.
Right.
They get to face two former world champions, and a guy who's a potential legend in Daniel Bryan and a legend in Kane, and that's just what that is. So, all hands on deck. Everybody benefited from this.
Yeah, and Bludgeon Brothers, I wish they would have
put in that freezer door.
I wish it's similar like Naomi, like when she won the title at WrestleMania, which we were there at 33 to see that live. They didn't really give Naomi a lot of pay-per-view matches, and that's kind of how I'm feeling like the Bludgeon Brothers. Like they've only gotten, I think this is like their only pay-per-view match because they were on the kickoff show at Money in the Bank. So it's like we're almost to SummerSlam. Like give these guys some more matches on the pay-per-views. And yeah, I know he wanted a lighter schedule, SMP in the chat, and everything, but I assume that basically means he'll work SmackDown and the pay-per-views, but not as many house shows, similar to what Shawn Michaels did. But let's move on to the next match.
Shawn Michaels taught him well.
There you go. Roman Reigns versus Bobby Lashley. I was looking, even though the build-up to this wasn't much, and the segment was apparently written by Paul Heyman, who's now back on the WWE creative team, so we'll see how that goes. Bobby Lashley versus Roman Reigns was a match that I was looking forward to. You know, Bobby Lashley, one of the big stars from back in the Ruthless Aggression era, and Roman Reigns, you know, whether people like him or not, one of the people that are positioned as one of the big stars. And as I've said before on these streams and reviews, I do like Roman Reigns, and I think more often than not he really steps it up for his pay-per-view matches and pulls out some good matches, but I'm just not a fan of the way the WWE books him. That being said, though, this match, I kind of felt like the Cena-Reigns match where the first half of it's kind of very slow and methodical, too much of what Roman getting the best of Cena. That's kind of what I felt in this match, is too much offense from Roman Reigns to Bobby Lashley, but very much like the Cena match. On the second, SMP said, "Oh my brother, let it rain." But on the second half of the match, it really picked up like that one. And overall, I thought though it was a pretty good match. I enjoyed it. I wish it would have been more back and forth for the whole match. But yeah, man, Bobby Lashley took quite the big bump from Roman Reigns, almost like an attitude adjustment FU, if you guys remember that back in the day, where he landed really hard on his shoulder. Nasty bump from Bobby. They finally built up to the vertical suplex and all that stuff. And of course, there was a lot of near falls where it looked like Roman was going to win, and I was expecting Roman's probably going to win to set him up for SummerSlam against Brock Lesnar. But the ending, Roman started getting overconfident, and he goes for the spear or the Superman punch again, and Bobby Lashley hits the spear. 1, 2, 3. Bobby Lashley gets the 100% clean victory over Roman Reigns. And yes, I popped for this. The man 0001, this match must have put him to sleep, so we'll get to his thoughts in soon. But yeah, I was very happy. I've been a big fan of Bobby Lashley since he first came to WWE, and I'm glad he got this big win over Roman Reigns, but it wasn't for the #1 contender match, so I can only hope this is a setup tomorrow night to make Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar the main event of SummerSlam for the Universal Championship. I've been wanting to see this match. I remember when Bobby Lashley first came on the scene in 2005, a year after Brock Lesnar, and I know a lot of people made the comparison to Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar and everything, but I really wanted to see those two wrestle. Wish we could have got to see those. And Bobby Lashley, of course, went on to do MMA and did pretty successful for himself, regardless of what Roman Reigns said in the storyline. Yes, he didn't become a big superstar, but he did pretty good for himself. And of course, everyone who followed him in Impact Wrestling knows just how great of a job they did at booking him there. And I heard his promo tonight on Talking Smack when he's just being himself. So much more better, so much authentic than the scripted promos, you know, they usually write these guys to say, which is why I miss shows like Talking Smack and all that stuff. But that being said, I'm very glad that WWE booked Bobby to go over clean in this match against Roman, and clearly the man 0001 probably didn't care much about this match. But that being said, yeah, I'm really glad Bobby went over, and I'm hoping this leads to a match at SummerSlam. Now, from the sound of you, man 0001, sound like you didn't really care for this match, and if I'm right, I thought you were a fan of Bobby Lashley, so I thought you'd be happy to see him go over Roman clean. But give us your thoughts on this match.
The match The reason why I'm so depleted is because this feud did nothing to help build up. The match was fine, but the this feud did nothing to build up for this match to well. So it
100%
bored the
agree.
piss out. It bored the piss out of me. It bored the piss out of me. I'm just not feeling it. And
Sound like the
I'm just
crowd
like,
wasn't too much into it either until like the end when Bobby won.
so it's just like, come on now. Why they put these young men out there like that? You know, come on now. It should have just put them on the first match of the show of the night, just so everybody can go ahead and get their stuff in, and just so everybody can go get their stuff in and be on their way. You know what I'm
At least
saying?
they weren't the main event like so many people thought they would be.
Yeah, because this match right here was, it was, I mean, it was fine, but the build up for it, I mean, come on now. I, I literally sat down and watched some paint dry. I literally did. I was at, my parents' house, and they were painting and everything, and I went over there to watch paint dry, just so I could be, you know, mildly entertained, because that was more entertaining than this feud. You know, these guys have zero to no mic skills at all, none, not a zilch. Bobby Lashley looks intimidating from afar, but if I was to speak to him on the phone, I'll call him all types of names and not feel any kind of intimidation by it whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns kind of sounds intimidating, but not really.
Yeah, I
He
think that was
doesn't
one of
sound
the
like
things I said. I think Roman actually, it was one of the few cases where Roman has the better mic skills.
I mean, come on now. Roman Reigns, he's the kind of guy, if you put him in court, he will most definitely need to let his lawyer do 100% of the talking. He's the kind of guy who would probably, even if he's innocent, he's the kind of guy who will probably implicate himself, implicate himself and not even, and end up in jail. So he definitely needs to not speak at all. You know what I mean? The judge would probably look at him and be like, "Boy, what the hell are you talking about?" It's lock his ass up, throw away the key. I mean, come on now,
Wow.
come on now. Both of these guys should not speak at all. As a matter of fact, their promo should be about 10 seconds apiece. You know what I
10
mean?
seconds apiece.
30 seconds at most, because anytime I see them on the mic, it's just like it feels like forever. Are they
Forever,
done
ever.
yet? In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, are they done yet?
Okay, we
Are they
see
done yet?
you weren't a fan of the match, but before we move on, what about the result of this match? Are you happy to see Bobby go over? This is obviously the biggest victory he had, and I actually did think this was Bobby's best match since coming back to the WWE, especially after
Finally,
what they've done with him.
about time.
Man.
Well, I think it's about time. I mean, yeah, like I said, the match was fine. It's just the build-up did not do anything to help me get excited for this at all.
Right.
And this match definitely needed some build-up, especially considering the potential magnitude of one of these two facing Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam for the WWE Universal title. So
And
definitely, this match needed that spice in order to do it, in order to
before
make it feel like a big-time match.
and before we move on to the next match, is that a match you've always wanted to see? Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley, especially with the improvement Bobby Lashley has made since 2005.
BL versus BL. Both of them got wrestling backgrounds. That's all I know.
Here we go, and
Both of them are
MMA
big, a
backgrounds
couple of
too.
big sweaty men.
Well, we know.
Let's see.
Well, hey, we know whoever. Well, we can guarantee you if this match goes down, the person's initials with the initials BL is gonna lose, and the person with the initials BL is gonna win.
Black Lesnar. That's what they used to call him back in the day.
I've heard. All right, guys, let's move on to the next match, or in my opinion, clustered. Alexa Bliss with Mickey James defending the
Oh
title against
no.
Nia Jax. If you guys can't tell, there's just this a lot of this show had us shaking her head. Nia Jax with Natalia because I don't even know why, because I guess Ronda's not around, so they have to put Natalya there with Nia. Extreme Rules match. So this was an actual match that was supposed to live up to the title, Extreme Rules. Now you have Travis Brown and Ronda Rousey. I'm not sure who else was with her, with their relation, but you had them, all three of them in the front row. Ronda, did an excellent job as always, being really happy and smiling. And then the second, Alexa, they lock eyes, and Ronda, like, she wants to rip her head off. All right, so this match starts off pretty fun. I like how they're throwing weapons and stuff. It reminded me like I was playing a video game, WWE SmackDown versus Raw, the WWE game. Sometimes in the Extreme Rules, I just go outside the ring and just throw all the toys in the ring so then we can, get down to business, smashing each other's heads with tables and ladders and trash cans and stuff. And I like the way they kept Mickey just kept taking one piece of weaponry to Alexa Bliss, and Alexa Bliss kept hitting, kept hitting, trying to hit Nia with it. Nia kept throwing in. I thought it was pretty fun. Some of the spots they did was pretty fun. So I actually was enjoying the match. Then it turned into a big giant cluster with Mickie James and Natalya interfering, and then Ronda jumps over the barricade. Now I'm expecting, and shame on me for expecting, the security to storm the ring. Now, let's just talk about this from a kayfabe standpoint. If I am a talent, it is your job as security to make sure that no crazy fan jumps over the barricade and puts me in harm's way. Why was Ronda Rousey in the ring for 6, 7 something minutes through the whole fiasco of the rest of this match? Security, do your job. I hate to think that this will give some. You remember that period, early 2010s, where where we had these fans jumping in the ring. The funniest one was when Roman and Seth had a partner, and the guy shows up in the Shield uniform, and you got Bray Wyatt. Is that your guy? Is that your partner? While they're taking him out in security.
Remember when Ted DiBiase Jr.'s little brother came in the ring?
Yeah, that was
9.
Yeah, man, it took me back to this. Hopefully there's no crazy fans that see this and think, oh, well, Ronda Rousey got in the ring, so I sure can too. It's like they didn't even try.
Hey, they did a better job with Rob Gronkowski back at WrestleMania 33 than they did with Ronda Rousey.
Dude, they did a better job with Roman Reigns early this year. I mean, it was a little extreme having the supposed U.S. Marshals come out, but at least they did what they were. Roman wasn't supposed. Yeah, it was. I know we cracked up.
I would say that, but he didn't get arrested for it, so that's points
but the point is, though, they came down there and tried to take Roman out the building because he wasn't supposed to be there, and of course Brock made him pay for it for trespassing. But my thing is, they didn't even try it in this match. Why is Ronda in the ring? Why is no security even taking? They didn't even try. Like, you might as well say she'd be back tomorrow night, and is there going to be some sort of consequence for this? Like, was security where was security?
Ronda Rousey walk around with the Debo music and be like, what consequences?
Might as well. But yeah, not just the way Ronda was utilized in this. I mean, she beat the crap out of Mickie James, and while the visual was cool, like Ronda's like she looks like she's being like really rough and everything and stuff like this, but at the same time still protecting the women. But the thing about it is that's ruining this. Like, she shouldn't even be allowed to get that far. They should have had security storm the ring. And of course Nia Jax gets these chair shots, which I'm pretty sure obviously did hurt, but I'm pretty sure we've heard probably more devastating chair shots, so I thought maybe a little bit of more force for the execution of that, or if they cranked the mic up to hear the sound effects of, well, not really sound effects, but the chair hitting Nia could have been a little bit better. And then she gets the DDT at the end, and Alexa Bliss walks away with the championship. Like I said, actually enjoyed the start of this match, and then it just went all downhill from when Ronda interfered, because what the heck? I just, at the end of the day, I was left, well, that was one big cluster, and this really wasn't much of a Extreme Rules match. You know, there was a part where I remember Alexa put the chair in the ring. She had a hard time getting in between the top and the bottom turnbuckle, and it looked like it was going to fall, and it did fall. But I thought she did a really nice job to put it down at the bottom, and Nia ran into it. But just at the end of the day, this match was a big cluster, and really at the end of the day, I think we're going to look back that Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss best match was at WrestleMania, because it did to the point. It got to what the storyline was, and we can, I guess the big thing, we can move on from this feud now. But I'm not really feeling a Alexa Bliss versus versus Ronda Rousey match. I was more looking forward to a Ronda Rousey Natalya match. And before we move on to your opinion of the match, Man0001, you would know more, I guess, about this one than I would. So this should probably pop you. SMP in the chat says they should have hired their South Suburban College security.
Oh, fuck them. They kiss my ass. Dude. Oh, hell no.
They would know more than I would about that one, so I'm gonna.
It's quite personal. I'll explain to you later when we're not recording right now.
Okay, so we'll keep this off the chat.
We'll keep that off the record, but fuck them.
Okay, so SMP must know something I don't then. Okay, with that said in mind, what was your thoughts on this match?
Let's see. My thoughts on this match is this. Yeah, it's a match. It's a transitional match to help kick the can down the road to what eventually is going to happen, because Ronda's going to take that belt off Alexa, and she's going to win it, and she's going to have a huge coronation victory when she finally wins the WWE Raw Women's Championship, which is going to lead to her having some sort of match between herself and herself and Asuka, or herself and Charlotte. That's what's gonna happen.
I don't want to see a squash match between Alexa and Ronda, though. Like,
I do.
I have no interest.
I'm up for it.
Of course you are. I got my right.
I got my credit card out right now. Let's get it going.
One of his all-time favorite MMA wrestlers to squash one of his most disliked female wrestlers, professional wrestlers, or just professional wrestlers in general right now. So yeah, it'll be, the match is more than worth the price of admission for you.
Come on now, take my money. Come on now, take my money. I'll take the first flight there too to make sure I see this shit in person. And you don't know how happy I was at WrestleMania when Nia Jax beat the holy hell out of that woman.
Oh, man. Looks like X-Beat Ninja wants to know that story once we get off this stream, too.
We will. Just send me a message. You'll send me a message on Facebook, and, all of us will group up. Just make a group message, and I'll tell you all later. But
all right, I'll do that.
That made me cry tears of joy when I saw Alexa get her ass whooped at WrestleMania.
Shayna Baszler, SMP says in the chat, I definitely think we'll see Shayna Baszler and the Four Horsewomen on WWE soon. But I think since Ronda apparently signed a multi-year deal, they're just going to take their time. But it seems like you weren't a fan of this match, though, right? Just mostly, but you'll be very well, not a fan of the match, but you will be a fan of what the result most likely means next month.
It's a sacrifice I'm willing to make for when I see what's going to really happen down the road.
All right, there we go.
The minute I see that match get made, and it's no Mickey James, no weapons, no cash-ins, no nothing, it's come to Papa time, baby. Woo!
Well, let's move on to the match that did not main event. The WWE Champion AJ Styles versus Rusev Day.
It's the no main event.
Oh man! Now,
this for main events.
This meant something very bittersweet to me. It's been a long time since the Intercontinental Championship main event, and I thought the best time to do it would have been that match that they had at No Mercy when they put the triple threat match.
When's the last time the Intercontinental Championship main evented a WWE pay-per-view?
WrestleMania 6? I don't know.
WrestleMania 6 or SummerSlam 92, I think, you know?
Yeah, it must have been
Like,
SummerSlam
so,
19. Yeah. SummerSlam 1992. So this is
God damn.
historic. Yeesh, man. I
Let's
don't even
see.
have any memories from back then. I didn't start remembering until I was 3 years
Let's
old.
see. I'm trying to remember here. I think,
That's before
was
you
it
even
in,
was.
was it
Yeah,
in,
that's before you could even have your first memory of wrestling.
I think it was, I remember. It was the In Your House in 1995.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it was Jeff Jarrett. I think it was Jeff Jarrett versus Shawn Michaels.
Oh, okay. Well, see, this is the
The
reason why
Intercontinental
me
Championship
and
on the
Steve-O
line.
of Too Sweet Cosplay always advocate for you to be on Wrestling Trivia Challenge because you'll remember stuff like this. I had no idea. See, um,
Oh boy.
but with that being
Uh,
said, it's been so what that means it's been over 20 years that we've been waiting for this.
yeah,
But I think
I think that's the last time.
I think it would have been better to do it when they had that triple threat match starting off at No Mercy. What was it, 2 years ago when they did and I thought rightfully so, the what was it, the Miz and Dolph Ziggler's Intercontinental title match with the program should have main evented that show. Instead, I think they had at the time, was it Luke Harper and Kane or something? I forget, but it was something that
Uh-huh.
something dealing with, I think, Luke Harper. I don't remember. You guys, if you want to correct me in the comments, correct me or send it. But
Uh-huh.
they had something. It was something that I know a lot of people didn't like what main evented that show. As far as though at this time period, I felt AJ Styles should definitely be the one to main event, and with the crowd heat in this match, this had the best crowd heat out of any match. I thought
Man, oh
this should
man.
have been the main event. So the once again they don't have the WWE Championship. The WWE Championship has not main evented since, I believe, Fastlane, and John Cena was in that match. So go figures, right? You want your
God
W.
damn,
If you're not John Cena and
I
you want the
still have,
W, or Roman Reigns and you want the WWE Championship to be in the main event, make sure one of those two are in the match with you.
hey, I still got a meme from 2012 that
hmm
says, LOL, the next time you see the WWE Championship main event in the pay-per-view is when this guy, insert picture of John Cena, was, we'll see, we'll be on the card.
And I bet you got another bunch of comments saying we don't see who you're talking about.
Let's see. So it's just
Yeah,
like, God damn. I mean,
man, yeah, it's
shoot,
ridiculous.
talk about getting the CM Punk
I
treatment.
and our buddies on Facebook, Matt Dillingham and SMP, I remember they were livid over this when I made a Facebook post about it. I'm like, they're gonna make they're gonna they're having the WWE Championship, they're gonna have the Intercontinental title main event. Okay, yeah, and I have a lot to say about the main event later, but as far as this match, I thought this was one of Rusev's best matches. I love the intensity from Rusev. I love Aiden English opening singing promo, and I thought both men put on a really good match. The crowd was heavy into it with dual chants, with AJ Styles, Rusev Day. The thing is, I enjoyed the match, but I didn't get invested because I knew AJ Styles was most likely winning. I would have popped loud if Rusev won, but then kind of would have been like, they're probably just going to take the title off him in the next day or whatever, or in 2 days. So, yeah. And of course, at the end, the story ends up being that Aiden English, and actually I really like the psychology. AJ Styles worked on the leg of Rusev, which came into play later on in the match because when Rusev goes for the accolade, he couldn't put all his weight on one leg, allowing him not to lock it in. I love psychology like this in wrestling. I really like these psychology-based matches because it just makes sense and it all works well and everything. And with that said, eventually Rusev muscles it up in his leg, and even though his leg's in pain, he does get the accolade on AJ Styles. Aiden English takes away the top of the turnbuckle, and eventually Rusev gets thrown in there, and it ends up basically costing him the match. AJ Styles, he does all his special moves with like the 450 in the ropes, the phenomenal forearm after kicking Aiden out the way, and he gets gets the pinfall, 1, 2, 3, and retains his championship. And I liked Corey Graves' call saying you can't be great, you can't just be good, you have to be phenomenal in order to take the title off of AJ Styles. So at this point, I think AJ Styles is very much on his way to outdoing CM Punk's WWE Championship reign, and rightfully so. Once again, like I said in our last review, Money in the Bank, glad to see that Vince McMahon has gotten behind AJ Styles. Like I said, you never know these things sometimes. So glad it's really working out for AJ Styles. And hey, what hasn't been said? We know how awesome Rusev is. Hopefully one day the company will give him this opportunity. But I thought for what it was, this was a good match. I enjoyed it, and yeah, hopefully one day Rusev, like Nakamura, finds himself in the main event as the WWE Championship, because I think he has more than proven himself. When this was actually the building that he showed up, that he debuted in 3 years ago at the Royal Rumble in Pittsburgh. So, what was your thoughts on this match, Man0001?
Match really intense, really good. I enjoyed the majority of the match. You know what I mean? But I think this right here is just the writing on the wall for Aiden English and Rusev's relationship, on-screen relationship that they have going on. It's just the writing on the wall for that. You know what I mean? But, this right here is also an opportunity to turn, this is also an opportunity for them to turn Rusev into a, full-on babyface.
Right.
By having them getting rid of Aiden English, and then on top of that,
yeah, it looked like they planted the seeds for that in this match.
So that definitely will happen. Another thing that I gathered from this match is this. I looked at this match, and I like the psychology that they had in this match with Rusev not being able to get the accolade on all the way, with him playing up the leg injury from earlier in the match, from getting calf pressure put on him. That was pretty good, You know what I mean? Rusev trying to win this match and everything, but I think definitely Rusev should be a WWE champion in the future. I just hope nothing gets messed up. I hope nobody gets hurt feelings in the back. I hope nobody gets cold feelings. I hope they just go full on, balls deep, pound this shit out, make it happen. As a certain other YouTuber would say.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean? So, yeah. So definitely I'm hoping for that.
Yeah, man, he's got all the tools. He's gotten over, and even when it feels so forced now, like when they have Aiden English go out there, and have him make some sort of snarky remark to the crowd to get the heat and boo, because it just feels like WWE so badly, or Vince McMahon just so badly wants this guy to be over as a heel. But hey, if he's over as a babyface, go with it. But obviously everybody's been saying that about it. So let's move on to the main event. We'll definitely be interested to hear your opinion on this, because I think obviously the Man0001 probably walks away and saying still the greatest Iron Man match of all time, WrestleMania 12, Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart. This match had, I know one of your things.
Hello?
About, yeah, you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, yeah, I know one of the things you talk about in those Iron Man matches is the fact that you felt so many of them have shenanigans, and this match was filled with shenanigans. All right, so Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler for the Intercontinental Championship. Honestly, the biggest heel in this match to me was the crowd. They did this Royal Rumble chant every single minute. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then they would go ahead and try to make the buzzer sound when someone comes out for the Rumble. And literally almost every minute of this match, WWE apparently took the clock down, so the fans started guessing. So if you're wondering why they were chanting the 10-second countdown when they were at like 23 or 37, because they were trying to guess, and I guess WWE eventually put it back up. Oh my gosh!
They take the clock down between at times in Iron Man matches all the time. It's not something they just did for this match. It's normal.
Gotcha.
It's normal. It's normal to take the clock
they were
down.
doing
it's
it.
normal.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I know the fans have the right to do this, but It took away from the match. The crowd constantly, like, there were barely any, like, let's go Seth Rollins chant. There was barely any burn it down chants. Like, oh my gosh, like, the crowd kept doing the extreme. I don't know who started this, and I feel like this is gonna be a trend now. Every time they do an Iron Man match, like, who started this? Like, oh man, yeah, and I know SMP and Matt on our Facebook group, they both basically they didn't like it either. I was not a fan of that. Like, man, and I was surprised too, because this is Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins, two guys who you're gonna get good matches, and surprisingly I like their Raw matches better. And shout out to Solid Monster and Aaron Riff of NoDQ.com, who both brought up this point, and it was a good point. And Solid Monster was even saying this on his on his podcast earlier that I was listening to, is like, these men fought nearly 30 minutes and without a pinfall, yet in this match they're scoring tons and tons of pinfalls, and it's like, okay. So the story of the match basically is Seth Rollins ends up getting 3 to 4 calls, and the thing is Drew McIntyre's hesitant to interfere because he knows that's gonna cost Ziggler a round, and eventually he just says screw it, and he gets in there. And he basically beats up Ziggler. He beats up Seth and gets the pinfall. Well, no, he beats up Seth, and that gets one more extra. Right, I think that's what takes it to 3-0 to Seth Rollins. And I don't know why the referee didn't count it as a 4th time, because I know on the video games that's the way it would be. So he gets ejected from the ring, and this is where Ziggler takes advantage. He gets his pinfall easily after the Claymaker from McIntyre, and then after that Seth Rollins ends up getting super kicked by Dolph Ziggler, and they eventually end up tying it in like a 2-minute span. And then for the next 20 minutes, that's where they go at it, and once again, they were very professional, constantly keeping going through the match, even though the crowd cared more about trying to keep up with the clock and doing 10-second countdowns. Even the announcers, I thought, did a good job at still staying focused on the match. And with that said in mind, it was a lot of really good in-ring action. I thought both men really paced themselves very well, as you expect from these two guys in the ring, in the caliber of workers that they are. And then towards the end of the match, I'm really getting into it, like, at the end, when it's crucial time, it comes down like the last 45 seconds, Seth Rollins ends up getting the curb stomp at the last 12 seconds, I think, and I was like, pin him, and he's just slowly going over there, and then he finally pins him when it gets to like 2 seconds, and the referee gets down the ground, is about to hit it, and then there you go, it goes to 0, and it's a tie.
Flailing around like a dumbass.
Right, it's 0. It's a tie.
All of the stupid or gullible, or naive.
Right.
We're all three at the same time. So,
right.
So come on now.
Kurt Angle comes out, and instead of getting the hometown pop from Pittsburgh, he gets the "you suck." So Kurt Angle says, the WWE universe doesn't want to see this. So what he goes ahead and says is, he says, I know especially the WWE universe and my hometown of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania doesn't want to see this. And then they give a big pop and everything. And everything. Oh, I said that right. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Right? Did I? I hope I did. Let me see. That being said, he says a sudden death rules, and this is pretty much over as soon as the bell starts, because Drew McIntyre comes back out of nowhere, distracts Rollins. Rollins get a knee to Drew's face, and then Dolph Ziggler comes in and does the the Billy Gunn's famouser, and then pins him 1, 2, 3 and walks out. So they did everything they could to really make Dolph Ziggler look cowardly, and I don't remember Dolph Ziggler ever being cowardly, whether he was good or heel. I think the whole shtick was he always he always was that good of a show off and everything. Or maybe I should remember, isn't this how he won his first world title? Because Vicky fired him and he literally gave him the world title, and then Edge came back and
His
immediately beat him.
his girlfriend handed him the belt. So
Pretty much, yeah. So this is we're going back to this Ziggler. So obviously they did this so that they can end the program. I mean, you might as well just have ended it in a tie. Whatever, you know. I enjoyed it from an in-ring perspective, but to me, there was just too many shenanigans in this match, and it's like, wow, you know, I felt you should have at least had Rusev and AJ do this match, which actually I thought Rusev's match with AJ was better than most of the WWE matches with AJ and Nakamura outside of the I did enjoy that last man standing match at Money in the Bank. That being said, what better fitting way to end this pay-per-view than the shenanigans? I thought their matches on Raw was much better, but obviously I think this was just to get Seth Rollins out. All right, man, 0001, you being a huge fan of that very first ever Iron Man match, what was your thoughts on this?
what was my thoughts on this? Oh, my thoughts on this was it was a pretty decent match. It was okay, but come on now, chicanery and all the other bullshit going on. We have yet another Iron Man match with bullshit and chicanery. Go figure, you know. Which is why the first Iron Man match between Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels will always be the best one. Always, you know. And if anyone's got any problems with it, you can go meet me in the back alley somewhere, and we can talk about this like gentlemen. Yeah, and we can go talk about this like gentlemen, you know. If you know what I mean.
The other Iron Man matches had, shenanigans in them as well, but I thought they were much better, like the all-time classic Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle, which it kind of did remind me of like of Drew McIntyre interfering, like how Brock used a steel chair to give Kurt a fall just so he can pick up the next two easily. You had the coolness of Taker coming back and some of the other ones. I did like that WWE did include a lot of greats like Brock, Shawn, even Bayley from her NXT match with Sasha, and Charlotte and everything in there. It's the greats who have won Iron Man matches. But yeah, dude, I think I might have to say this. Would you?
What?
Is it not too much of a landslide? And like, this might have been my least favorite Iron Man match in WWE history.
John Cena versus Randy Orton will always be my least favorite.
Oh yeah, I remember that. But even that, yeah, that was.
That was some bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, in ring wise, they had to do a lot of shenanigans to keep your attention for an hour. Whereas these two, like I said, they paced themselves very well for 30 minutes. There was not one part where I thought they got blown up. I didn't think they overly had to use rest holds and everything. They paced themselves very well for 30 minutes. But yeah, yeah, man. See, that's the thing. It's very typical of WWE nowadays. Just so much inconsistency. Like, the in-ring action was really good, but what ruined the match for me outside of the crowd is the shenanigans they had. This, like, yeah, yeah, whatever, man. What can I say? Speaking of inconsistency, I just wanted to touch upon Sasha and Bayley. I thought they had a tremendous segment with Sasha getting the crap beat out of her by Bayley, and Bayley even cursing for her first time on WWE programming, which you could hear, I think, in the Spanish version. But then they dropped the ball on it the next 2 weeks and it was cool to see Dr. Shelby back, and they replaced Dr. Shelby the following week with, I don't even think the lady said anything. She didn't. They didn't even give her name. She was just there. Yeah, I mean, maybe they were dragging it out to SummerSlam, but it's just, that's the thing. Every time I talk to somebody about WWE, I always have to be like, it's a very inconsistent. Like, they do something that's really cool, and then they do something that's really big. They do something that's really cool, and then it's like more often than not, it's kind of like they're just dragging their feet on something and everything. But they got, like I said, they got that guaranteed billions of dollars coming from their NBC Universal deal and their Fox deal. So right now, Vince feels like he can do whatever, and he pretty much can, unless Fox holds him to a high standards when they get on there, which we'll have to see. Which I know me and you talked about privately the other day. In closing, guys, this pay-per-view was, like I said, not so extreme. Honestly, outside of Bobby Lashley winning over Roman Reigns in that match, and the spot of Kevin Owens being thrown off the top of the steel cage through the announce table, can't really say there was much else I really enjoyed about the show. It was what it was. Let's see what they got planned for SummerSlam. Show was 4 hours, so that's the norm now, and SummerSlam will probably be 7 hours or 5 hours, one of the two. It is what it is. Yeah, so those would be the big things I would recommend from this this pay-per-view. Before we close out here in the stream, man0001, you got any final thoughts on Extreme Rules?
You mean rules?
Rules. Soft rules. Let's call it soft.
Just rules. No thoughts. I'm glad it's over, and I'm glad I can go. One more message, and I can go home. Love myself better than the show. I know I'm wrong, so what can I do? I'm on a plane.
All right, yeah, very well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, guys, basically, thank you SMP and XBeat Ninja for going ahead and joining us on this stream, and for anyone who listens to this on demand, hope you enjoy this as you go about your day for these audio reviews. With that, I will end now with some plugs. If you are obviously a pro wrestling fan, definitely check out some of the other reviews. We have reviews up on my YouTube channel here. Make sure to subscribe and follow by hitting the notification bell so you're notified of all content. Yeah, well, we have reviews for all the WWE major events going back to going back to Raw 25 of this year, and all the pay-per-views and specials that they have. So definitely check out that, and we'll definitely be back for a review at SummerSlam, and hopefully we have more guests on with us. Also, if you are a Dragon Ball fan, definitely check out my Dragon Ball Super interview, my Dragon Ball Super reviews and everything. I've got some more coming up too, episode 131, as well as art discussion video coming soon. And obviously, I'll be giving my thoughts soon on Broly being the new villain in the Dragon Ball movie, and also mostly my big masterpiece I'm working on this channel, Battle Deception. I've got my short film that I've been working on. It basically you have all the I have all the behind the scene interviews here, and my teaser trailer out. So definitely a lot of stuff to look forward to. Voiceover videos. Check out my videos for my Bang Zoom Entertainment anime voiceover auditions. So definitely check that out. Lots of content right here on my channel. So with that said in mind, guys, this has been the man0001 and me, SONGOSHUAKU'S. Hope you guys all enjoy, and like I said, we will be back wrestling wise for a review for SummerSlam. But in the meantime, make sure to check out all my channel and all the links to my social medias, where you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. All that will be right in the description below. With that said in mind, everyone, take care.
Bye-bye, friends.